Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we are digging into, well, on the surface it just looked like an HDMI cable.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Key Digital KD-AOCH164P, but then you see the price tag,
Yeah,
$466.
that gets your attention. It's clearly not your average cable.
Not at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so our mission today is really to figure out why. Why does a single cable cost as much as a new TV? And, why for some people this is actually the only safe choice they can make.
It really is a classic case of you get what you pay for. We're not talking about hooking up your PlayStation to a monitor that's, 3 feet away?
Right.
We're talking about pushing massive amounts of data. We're talking full 4K over almost 200 feet. That's 60 meters.
And that's exactly where physics just starts to fight you. Anyone who's tried to run a normal copper HDMI cable more than, say, 25 feet knows what happens.
Oh, yeah, the digital cliff.
The digital cliff. You get the sparkles, the signal just drops out, or you get nothing,
Yeah.
a black screen. And that's because this key digital cable is what they call an AOC.
An active optical cable
Exactly.
at 60 meters, a copper wire just can't handle the bandwidth. There's too much resistance.
So it's converting the signal.
It is. It converts the main TMDS channels, which is basically all your video and audio data, into little pulses of light. It's using fiber optics for the heavy lifting.
And that lets it maintain that steady 18 gigabits per second. No loss.
No loss at all, which is
No.
the magic number, right?
That is the magic number. It's what you need for the really high-end stuff. 4K at 60 frames, 4.4.4, Chroma, HDR10, Dolby Vision. If you don't have that 18 gigabit pipe, you're just losing information along the way.
Precisely. And in a professional setting, like a big lecture hall or a custom home theater, reliability is everything. You just can't have the main projector flickering out.
Okay, so that brings me to this OpenEye technology they talk about in the source material. I have to admit, at first it just sounded like marketing jargon.
It has that ring to it for sure.
But when you dig in, it seems to be an actual certification. Key Digital is basically claiming this guarantees 0% signal loss.
And it gets rid of the noise that messes with the handshake between your source and your display.
That handshake is so critical.
It is. With long cables, that's where things usually fail. The devices can't sync up their copy protection keys or resolution data, so OpenEye's their guarantee that what comes out of the cable is identical to what went in.
It saves installers a ton of time troubleshooting. But there is a catch with this tech, right?
There is. The cable is directional.
Because the little conversion chips are built right into the heads of the cable.
Right, so it's not like a regular copper wire you can just plug in any which way. One end is clearly marked source, and the other is marked display.
Which would be a massive pain if you're not paying attention. Can you imagine pulling 200 feet of this through a wall?
Oh, no.
Only to find out you put the source end where the projector is. You'd have to pull it all out.
That would be a very, very expensive mistake to make.
Speaking of expensive mistakes, let's talk about safety, the physical aspect. So the fiber protects the signal, we get that. But the cable's jacket is actually designed to protect the building. The specs mention a CMP FT6 rating.
And this is absolutely non-negotiable in commercial buildings. CMP means it's Plenum rated.
And Plenum is the space in a building used for air circulation, like above a drop ceiling or under a raised floor.
Exactly, the HVAC space. And if you have a fire, a normal PVC cable jacket will melt and release toxic smoke,
Which then gets pumped through the entire building's ventilation system.
It's a huge liability. If an inspector finds a non-Plenum cable in those air ducts, you fail inspection, period. So this cable's jacket is fire retardant specifically to meet those building codes.
So that $400 price tag isn't just for the fiber tech, it's also for the liability insurance of not poisoning a building during a fire.
That's a good way to put it.
I was also really impressed by the power design. I mean, usually active cables need extra power, right? A little USB cable or a power adapter.
A wall wart, yeah. And those are always a nightmare to deal with in a crowded rack.
Totally. But somehow this cable draws all the power it needs, just 5 volts straight from the HDMI port itself.
From pin 18, yeah. It's a really elegant design. It makes it feel like a simple plug-and-play cable, even with all that complex tech inside.
And it's built tough, too. I saw a 53-pound pull strength listed for the connector. Fiber has this reputation for being fragile, but this is clearly built to be pulled through conduit.
It gives you the durability of a copper cable, but with the massive bandwidth of glass.
So, to sum it all up, we have a cable that uses fiber to solve the distance problem, it uses OpenEye to solve the reliability problem, and it uses a Plenum jacket to solve the legal safety problem. And it does all this without needing an external power plug.
It really is the perfect intersection of high-end AV performance and strict building infrastructure codes.
And for anyone listening who is actually in the market for something like this, the source material did mention a little discount code.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, 10% off at checkout.
Every little bit helps on a big install.
For sure. But before we go, I want to leave you with a final thought on all this. We're now at a point where we need fiber optics just to get a 4K signal reliably across a big room. As we push towards 8K and then 10K and who knows what's next, copper is just hitting a wall. It's a physical limitation. So are we heading for a future where all of our cables, even the short ones at home, have to become fiber optic just to keep up?
It certainly feels like the age of copper for high-end video is coming to an end.
Something to think about. Thanks for listening to this deep dive, and we'll catch you on the next one.